Stripling. Old use or humorous, a young man. Suborder. Biology, a taxonomic category that ranks below order and above family. Svengali. A person who exercises a controlling influence on another, especially for a sinister purpose. Phallus. A plant body that lacks true roots and a vascular system, typical of algae, fungi, and lichens. Tricuspid. A tooth with 3 cusps or points. Trustful. Having or showing total trust in someone. Unclothed. Wearing no clothes, naked. Unconquerable. Not able to be conquered or overcome. Unexceptional. Not out of the ordinary, usual. Unfixed. Unfastened, loose. Unprompted. Said or done without being prompted by someone else. Unscramble. Restore a scrambled broadcast, message, etc., to an intelligible or readable state. Zloty. The basic unit of money of Poland. Zouk. A style of popular music combining Caribbean and Western elements and having a fast, heavy beat. Anticlimax. A disappointing end to an exciting series of events. Antiphon. A short chant sung before or after a psalm or canticle. Astrobiology. The branch of biology concerned with the discovery or study of life on other planets or in space. Avaricious. Very greedy for wealth or material things. Bagatelle. A game in which small balls are hit into numbered holes on a board. Beatific. Feeling or expressing intense happiness. Becalmed. Unable to move because there is no wind. Beguile. Charm or trick someone. Burnish. Polish something by rubbing it. Chamomile. Variant spelling of chamomile. Camouflage. Carry out. Another term for takeout. Carsick/p adjective, feeling sick as a result of traveling in a car. Catalonian. And noun, another term for Catalan. Cauterize. Burn the skin or flesh of a wound to stop bleeding or prevent infection. Cavil. Make trivial complaints or objections. Chanter. The pipe of a bagpipe with finger holes, on which the melody is played. Chorister. A member of a church choir. Cytomegalovirus. A kind of herpes virus that usually produces very mild symptoms in an infected person but may cause severe neurological damage in people with weakened immune systems and in the newborn. Daunt. Make someone feel intimidated or apprehensive. Demarcate. Set the boundaries or limits of something. Doublespeak. Language that is. Dragster. A car used in drag races. Drainpipe. A pipe for carrying off rainwater from a building. Electroconvulsive. Relating to the treatment of mental illness by applying electric shocks to the brain. Epitomize. Be a perfect example of. Evensong. A service of evening prayers, psalms, and canticles. Ezine. A magazine published only in electronic form on a computer network. Faience. A type of glazed ceramic earthenware. Failover. Computers the capability to switch automatically to a backup system in the event of a failure, or the process of doing this. Greengrocer. Chiefly Brit. Hookworm. A parasitic worm with hook-like mouthparts that can infest the intestines. Hurtle. Move at great speed, especially in an uncontrolled way. Hyperventilate. Breathe at an abnormally rapid rate. Interlace. Cross or be crossed together, interweave. Kibosh. Informal firmly put an end to. Kiswahili. Another term for swanet. Laparotomy. A surgical incision into the abdomen, to make a diagnosis or in preparation for major surgery. Lapidary. Relating to the engraving, cutting, or polishing of stones and gems. Legionary. A soldier in an ancient Roman legion. Limpid. Of a liquid or the eyes, clear. Lithology. The study of the physical characteristics of rocks. Matins. A service of morning prayer, especially in the Anglican Church. Milord. Historical or humorous use to address or refer to an English nobleman. Mineshaft. A deep, narrow shaft that gives access to a mine. Misconstrue. Interpret something wrongly. Mollify. Make someone feel less angry or anxious. Niggle. Worry or annoy someone slightly but persistently. Ochre. A type of earth that varies in color from light yellow to brown or red, used as a pigment. Oversell. Exaggerate the quality or worth of someone or something. Perforce. Formal necessarily, inevitably. Pre-dawn. Relating to or taking place before dawn. Pruritus. Severe itching of the skin. Retch. Make the sound and movement of vomiting. Saccharin. A synthetic substance used as a low-calorie sweetener. Sadden. Make someone unhappy. Sambuca. An Italian anise-flavored liqueur. Scara. The white outer layer of the eyeball. Scullion. Old use a servant given the most menial tasks in a kitchen. Seemly. In keeping with good taste or correct behavior. Servlet. Computing a small, server-resident program that typically runs automatically in response to user input. Signboard. A board displaying the name or logo of a business or product. Skipjack. A small tuna with dark horizontal stripes. Stoat. A small mammal of the weasel family, with chestnut fur, white in northern animals in winter, white underparts, and a black-tipped tail. Stygian. Literary very dark. Siphon. and verb variant spelling of siphon. Trilobite. A fossil marine arthropod, invertebrate creature, with a rear part divided into 3 segments. Trioxide. Chemistry: an oxide containing 3 atoms of oxygen. Tuppence. Brit. Umlaut. A mark, used over a vowel in German and some other languages to indicate how it should be pronounced. Unappreciative. Not fully understanding or recognizing something. Undergarment. An item of underclothing. Unready. Not ready or prepared. Vermiculite. A yellow or brown mineral used for insulation or for growing plants in. Viburnum. A shrub or small tree with clusters of small white flowers. Viridian. A bluish-green pigment or color. Voluble. Speaking easily and at length. Whir. Of something rapidly rotating or moving, make a low, continuous, regular sound. Windowpane. A pane of glass in a window. Yawl. A kind of 2-masted sailboat. Ziggurat. A tower in the shape of a tiered pyramid, often with a temple on top. Acupressure. A form of alternative therapy related to acupuncture in which specific points of the body are pressed to stimulate the flow of energy. Basketry. The craft of basket making. Bilious. Affected by nausea or vomiting. Blackguard. Dated a man who behaves in a dishonorable or dishonest way. Blusher. A cosmetic used to give a warm color to the cheeks. Bookbinder. A person skilled in the craft of binding books. Busboy. A young man who clears tables in a restaurant or cafeteria. Caduceus. An ancient Greek or Roman herald's wand, typically one with 2 serpents twined around it, carried by the messenger god Hermes or Mercury. Capstan. A broad revolving cylinder with a vertical axis, used for winding a rope or cable. Censer. A container in which incense is burned during a religious ceremony. Coagulant. A substance that causes a fluid to coagulate. Contort. Twist or bend something out of its normal shape. Cordite. A smokeless explosive used in ammunition. Crackerjack. Exceptionally good. Darkling. Literary one characterized by darkness. Dialogic. Relating to or in the form of dialogue. Diskette. Another term for FLORPY. Disc jockey. Drop off. A decline or decrease. Elapse. Pass. Endive. A plant with bitter curly or smooth leaves, eaten in salads. Fey. Conveying disapproval, displeasure, or disgust. Gamelan. A traditional instrumental group in Java and Bali, including many bronze percussion instruments. Gerund. Grammar: a verb form that functions as a noun, in English ending in ing, e.g., asking and do you mind my asking you? Gnash. Grind one's teeth together, especially as a sign of anger. Gyp. Informal cheat or swindle someone. Hardscrabble. Returning little in exchange for great effort. HIB. A bacterium that causes meningitis in very young children or babies. Hokum. Informal one nonsense. Huckster. A person who sells small items either door to door or from a stall. Hyperbola. A symmetrical curve formed when a cone is cut by a plane nearly parallel to the cone's axis. Jadeite. A green, blue, or white form of jade. Landform. A natural feature of the Earth's surface. Lory. A small Australasian or Southeast Asian parrot. Mayfly. An insect with transparent wings that lives as an adult for only a very short time. Molehill. A small mound of earth thrown up by a burrowing mole. Naturalize. Make someone who was not born in a particular country a citizen of that country. Noiseless. Silent or very quiet. Nullity. The state of being legally invalid. Nursemaid. Dated a woman or girl employed to look after a young child or children. Overtired. Excessively tired. Plastique. Plastic explosive. Primula. A plant of a genus that includes primroses, cowslips, and polyanthus. Proselytize. Convert someone from one religion, belief, or opinion to another. Quatrain. A stanza of 4 lines, typically with alternate rhymes. Radiotelephone. A telephone using radio transmission. Re-release. Release a recording or movie again. Rustler. A person who rounds up and steals cattle, horses, or sheep. Samphire. An edible fleshy-leaved plant that grows on rocks near the sea. Sandpit. A quarry from which sand is excavated. Sapphic. Sapphic, relating to the ancient Greek poet Sappho, or her poetry expressing love and affection for women. Sconce. A candle holder attached to a wall with an ornamental bracket. Shearwater. A long-winged seabird related to the petrels. Shoeshine. An act of polishing someone's shoes. Skitter. Move lightly and quickly. Sprit. A small pole reaching diagonally from a mast to the upper outer corner of a sail. Stovepipe. A pipe taking the smoke and gases from a stove up through a roof or tow a chimney. Straightened. Restricted because of poverty. Subsidiarity. The principle that a central authority should carry out only those tasks that cannot be carried out at a more local level. Suchlike. Things of the type mentioned. Swallowtail. A large brightly colored butterfly with tail-like projections on the hind wings. Tendril. A slender thread-like part of a climbing plant, which stretches out and twines around any suitable support. Testamentary. Relating to a will. Theoretician. A person who develops or studies the theory of a subject. Tinderbox. A situation that is likely to become dangerous. Tobacconist. A merchant who sells cigarettes and tobacco. Tussock. A dense clump or tuft of grass. Unalloyed. Complete, total. Unctuous. Excessively flattering or friendly. Unformed. Without a definite form. Unicameral. Having a single chamber. Unseal. Remove or break the seal of something. Unseasoned. Of food, not flavored with salt, pepper, or other spices. Valvular. Relating to or having a valve or valves. Vintner. A wine merchant. Wakeboarding. The sport of riding on a short, wide board resembling a surfboard while being towed behind a motorboat. Wurlitzer. Trademark a large pipe organ. Ablutions. Formal or humorous, the process of washing oneself. Afterbirth. The placenta and other material that is discharged from the uterus after a birth. Airedale. A large rough-coated black and tan breed of terrier. Allusive. Using or containing indirect references to something. Anti-terrorism. Activities or measures designed to prevent or thwart terrorism. Artless. Sincere, straightforward, or unpretentious. Bacteriological. Relating to bacteriology or bacteria. Banns. A public announcement of an intended marriage read out in a parish church. Baryon. Physics, a subatomic particle with a mass equal to or greater than that of a proton. Breadbasket. A part of a region that produces cereals for the rest of it. Brutalism. Cruelty and savagery. Bugaboo. A cause of fear. Cabochon. A gem that is polished but not cut in facets. Calfskin. Leather made from the hide or skin of a calf. Catch-all. A term or category intended to cover all possibilities. Chintz. Multicolored cotton fabric with a shiny finish, used for curtains and upholstery. Circlet. An ornamental circular band worn on the head. Cloverleaf. A junction of roads intersecting at different levels with connecting sections forming the pattern of a four-leaf clover. Codependency. The state of being too emotionally or psychologically dependent on a partner, especially one who has an illness or addiction and needs care or support. Co-host. A person who hosts an event or broadcast with another or others. Collocation. The frequent occurrence of a word with another word or words. Colloquialism. An informal word or phrase. Commensal. Biology, of two organisms, having an association in which one benefits and the other derives neither benefit nor harm. Cuboid. Having the shape of a cube. Curdle. Separate into solid and liquid parts. Daphnia. A minute semi-transparent freshwater crustacean. Decalogue. The 10 Commandments. Deckhand. A member of a ship's crew performing cleaning or manual work. Delimit. Determine the limits or boundaries of something. Demotic. Used by ordinary people, colloquial. Dirham. The basic unit of money of Morocco and the United Arab Emirates. Docudrama. A television movie based on a dramatized version of real events. Drachma. Until the introduction of the euro in 2002, the basic unit of money of Greece. Dreamboat. Informal, a very attractive person, especially a man. Flambeau. A flaming torch. Flavonoid. Any of a group of naturally occurring chemical compounds including several white or yellow plant pigments. Flinty. Relating to, containing, or resembling flint. Friable. Easily crumbled. Genitourinary. Relating to the genital and urinary organs. Graceless. Lacking grace, elegance, or charm. Guilder. Until the introduction of the euro in 2002, the basic unit of money of the Netherlands. Hemostasis. The stopping of a flow of blood. Inexpressible. Too strong to be described or expressed in words. Inmost. Closest to the center, innermost. Isotonic. Physiology of a muscle action, taking place with normal contraction. Knee-jerk. An involuntary kick caused by a blow on the tendon just below the knee. Line-out. An electrical connection that carries output from a video or audio device. Literalism. The interpretation of words in their usual or most basic sense. Lucre. Literary money, especially when gained in an underhanded or dishonorable way. Lugubrious. Sad and dismal, mournful. Majolica. A kind of earthenware imitating Italian maiolica. Majoritarian. Governed by or believing in decision by a majority. Maladministration. Formal dishonest or inefficient management or administration. Micronesian. A person from Micronesia, an island group in the Western Pacific. Misconceived. Badly judged or planned. Misquote. Quote someone or something inaccurately. Mononucleosis. Short for infectious mononucleosis. Mornay. Referring to or served in a cheese-flavored white sauce. Multiprocessor. A computer with more than one central processor. Newspeak. Deliberately misleading and indirect language, used by politicians. Nightjar. A gray-brown bird with a distinctive call, active at night. Obsolescent. Becoming obsolete. Outrank. Have a higher rank than someone else. Paunch. A belly or abdomen that is large or sticks out. Peckish. Informal, chiefly Brit. Pedagogue. Formal or humorous, a teacher. Penknife. A small knife with a blade that folds into the handle. Perfidy. Literary, the state of being deceitful and untrustworthy. Perforate. Pierce and make a hole or holes in something. Phosphine. A foul-smelling gas formed from phosphorus and hydrogen. Pizzicato. An adjective plucking the strings of a violin or other stringed instrument with the finger. Plutonic. Formed by solidification at considerable depth beneath the Earth's surface. Poliomyelitis. An infectious disease that affects the central nervous system and can cause temporary or permanent paralysis. Pube. Weak R slang, a pubic hair. Raki. A strong alcoholic drink made in Eastern Europe or the Middle East. Redact. Edit something for publication. Reformulate. Formulate something again or differently. Roadbed. Material laid down to form a road, or on which railroad tracks are laid. Sadomasochism. Sexual activity or psychological tendency that combines sadism and masochism. Scabby. Covered in scabs. Shinny. Another term for sin. Sibilant. Making a soft hissing sound. Snigger. Give a half-suppressed laugh. Solidus. Another term for slash, since 3 of the noun. Stricture. A rule restricting behavior or action. Tearjerker. Informal, a story or movie intended to arouse feelings of sadness in an audience. Top-notch. Informal, of the highest quality. Tremulous. Shaking or quivering slightly. Troubleshooter. A person who investigates and solves problems or faults. Trounce. Defeat someone heavily in a contest. Unpowered. Not propelled by burning of fuel such as gasoline. Vertiginous. Very high or steep. Wagtail. A slender songbird with a long tail that wags up and down. Xylene. A liquid hydrocarbon obtained by distilling wood, coal tar, or petroleum, used in fuels and solvents. Zinnia. A plant of the daisy family with bright showy flowers. Anthill. A mound-shaped nest built by ants or termites. Apiary. Apiaries, a place where bees are kept. Bewitch. Cast a spell over someone. Biped. An animal that walks on 2 feet. Braise. Fry food lightly and then stew it slowly in a closed container. Burgle. Chiefly Brit. Calendula. A plant of a family that includes the common marigold. Cassowary. A very large flightless bird related to the emu, native mainly to New Guinea. Castanets. A pair of small, curved pieces of wood, ivory, or plastic, clicked together by the fingers as an accompaniment to Spanish dancing. Chanteuse. A female singer of popular songs. Ciabatta. A flattish Italian bread made with olive oil. Cichlid. A perch-like freshwater fish of a large family. Coiffure. A person's hairstyle. Cryptology. The study of codes, or the art of writing and solving them. Damson. A small purple-black plum-like fruit. Decontaminate. Remove dangerous substances from an area or object. Dendrite. A short extension of a nerve cell that conducts impulses to the cell body. Disabuse. Persuade someone that an idea or belief is mistaken. Embezzle. Steal money placed in one's trust or under one's control. Epoxide. An organic compound whose molecule contains a three-membered ring involving an oxygen atom and two carbon atoms. Estrus. A recurring period of fertility in many female mammals. Excreta. Waste discharged from the body, especially feces and urine. Extemporaneous. Another term for extemporary. Fado. A type of popular Portuguese song, usually with a sad theme. Faroese. And adjective chiefly British spelling of Faroese. Flagon. A large bottle or other container in which wine, cider, or beer is sold or served. Forbear. Variant spelling of forbear. Forbear. Stop oneself from doing something. Forefather. An ancestor. Furor. Variant spelling of furor. Gentility. Polite and refined behavior, especially as typical of a high social class. Giblets. The liver, heart, gizzard, and neck of a chicken or other fowl. Grotti. Brit. Guffaw. A loud, deep laugh. Housebreaking. The action of breaking into a building to commit a crime. Intermezzo. A short connecting instrumental movement in an opera or other musical work. Ladino. Ladinos, one the language of some Sephardic Jews, based on medieval Spanish. Laundress. Dated a woman employed to launder clothes and linen. Lingam. Hinduism, a phallus or phallic object as a symbol of Shiva, the god of reproduction. Link up. An instance of people or things linking. Listenable. Easy or pleasant to listen to. Mandamus. A writ issued as a command to an inferior court or ordering a person to perform a public or statutory duty. Matchbook. A small cardboard folder of matches with a striking surface on one side. Mixologist. Informal, a person who is skilled at mixing cocktails and other drinks. Nebulizer. A device for producing a fine spray of liquid, used for inhaling a medicinal drug. Neologism. A newly coined word or expression. Obdurate. Stubbornly refusing to change one's mind. Oversimplify. Simplify something so much that an inaccurate impression is given. Parisienne. A Parisian girl or woman. Parrotfish. A brightly colored sea fish with a parrot-like beak. Pegboard. A board with a regular pattern of small holes for pegs. Philanderer. A man who has many casual sexual relationships with women. Polecat. A weasel-like mammal with dark brown fur and an unpleasant smell. Provençal. Relating to Provence in southern France. Puncheon. A short post, especially one used for supporting the roof in a coal mine. Quadruped. An animal that has 4 feet, especially a mammal. Quarterdeck. The part of a ship's upper deck near the stern, traditionally reserved for officers or for ceremonial use. Quetzal. A long-tailed tropical American bird with iridescent green plumage. Quieten. Chiefly ate writ. Quisling. A traitor collaborating with an occupying enemy force. Rakish. Dashing, jaunty, or slightly disreputable. Redwing. A small thrush of northern Europe, having orange-red patches on its sides. Scholasticism. The system of theology and philosophy taught in medieval European universities, based mainly on Aristotle's philosophy and logic and the works of early Christian religious writers. Slake. Satisfy a desire, one's thirst, etc. Smolder. Burn slowly with smoke but no flame. Spongiform. Technical, having a porous structure or consistency like that of a sponge. Stolid. Calm, dependable, and showing little emotion or reaction. Superbug. Informal, a bacterium, insect, etc., that has become resistant to antibiotics or pesticides. Supercenter. A superstore. Swampland. Land consisting of swamps. Tetralogy. A group of 4 related books, operas, plays, etc. Thymine. Biochemistry, a compound that is one of the 4 constituent bases of nucleic acids. Truculent. Quick to argue or fight. Turbofan. A jet engine in which a turbine-driven fan provides additional thrust. Typify. Be a typical example or feature of. Unction. Formal, the smearing of someone with oil or ointment as a religious ceremony. Unmentionable. Too embarrassing or offensive to be spoken about. Unpasteurized. Not or frightened. Ureter. The duct by which urine passes from the kidney to the bladder. Valise. A small travel bag or suitcase. Voltmeter. An instrument for measuring electric potential in volts. Windlass. A winch, especially one on a ship or in a harbor. Zither. A musical instrument with numerous strings stretched across a flat sound box, placed horizontally and played with the fingers and a plectrum. Adamantine. Literary unable to be broken. Archaeopteryx. The oldest known fossil bird, of the late Jurassic period, which had feathers and wings like a bird, but teeth and a bony tail like a dinosaur. Bacchanal. Chiefly literary, a wild and drunken party or celebration. Beachwear. Clothing suitable for wearing on the beach. Besmirch. Damage someone's reputation. Blabber. Informal talk at length about foolish or unimportant things. Blazon. Display or describe prominently or vividly. Brassiere. Full form of BRA. Brutalize. Make someone cruel, violent, or callous by repeatedly exposing them to violence. Bulgur. A cereal food made from whole wheat partially boiled and then dried. Cattleman. A person who tends or rears cattle. Clerestory. A row of windows in the upper part of the wall of a church or other large building. Concordant. In agreement, consistent. Courser. Literary, a swift horse. Cross-check. Check figures or information by using an alternative source or method. Cryptosporidium. A single-celled parasite found in the intestines of many animals, where it sometimes causes disease. Decrement. A reduction or diminution. Dhoti. A piece of cloth tied around the waist and covering most of the legs, worn by some Indian men. Disputable. Open to question. Doctrinaire. Very strict in applying beliefs or principles. Dawdle. Brit. Economize. Spend less, reduce one's expenses. Emetic. Causing vomiting. Feedlot. An enclosed area where livestock are fed and fattened for market. Fiberboard. A building material made of wood fibers compressed into boards. Flotation. Variant spelling of flotation. Floodgate. A gate that can be opened or closed to control a flow of water, especially the lower gate of a lock. Furze. The shrub gorse. Gastropod. Zoology, any of a large class of mollusks including snails, slugs, and whelks. Gearshift. A device used to change gears in an automobile. Gibbet. Historical one, a gallows. Guiltless. Having no guilt, innocent. Gymkhana. An event consisting of a series of competitions on horseback, typically for children. Hard-headed. Tough and realistic. Heathland. An extensive area of heath. Homewrecker. Informal, someone who is blamed for the breakup of a marriage or family, such as an adulterous partner. Hydrophone. A microphone that detects sound waves underwater. Ill. Will, I shall. Interpolate. Insert something different or additional into something else. Irretrievable. Not able to be improved or put right. Lassi. A sweet or savory Indian drink made from a yogurt or buttermilk base with water. Leatherette. Imitation leather. Lodestar. A star that is used to guide the course of a ship, especially the pole star. Longhand. Ordinary handwriting, as opposed to shorthand, typing, or printing. Long haul. Linchpin. Variant spelling of linchpin. Manhandle. Move a heavy object with effort. Microsurgery. Intricate surgery performed using very small instruments and a microscope. Milkmaid. A girl or woman who worked in a dairy. Muzzy. Dazed or confused. Numinous. Having a strong religious or spiritual quality. Nuthatch. A small gray-backed songbird that climbs down tree trunks head first. Odium. General or widespread hatred or disgust. Panegyric. A speech or piece of writing in praise of someone or something. Pannier. A bag or box fitted on either side of the rear wheel of a bicycle or panoply motorcycle. Pashmina. A shawl made from fine quality goat's wool. Perspire. Give out sweat through the pores of the skin. Picador. A person on horseback who goads the bull with a lance. Platen. One a cylindrical roller in a typewriter against which the paper is held. Pneumatics. The science of the mechanical properties of gases. Polestar. The North Star. Porcini. Seps, edible wild mushrooms. Potbelly. A large protruding stomach. Rapamycin. An antibiotic used as an immunosuppressant, especially to prevent organ rejection in transplants. Refi. Refinance, a mortgage. P adjective relating to refinancing and a refinancing market. Sangiovese. An Italian red wine made from a variety of black wine grape. Sedum. A plant of a large group having fleshy leaves and small star-shaped flowers. Shibboleth. A long-standing belief or principle that many people regard as outdated or no longer important. Sidle. Walk in a stealthy or uncertain way. Slacken. Make or become less active or intense. Slapdash. An adverb done too hurriedly and carelessly. Stamen. The male fertilizing organ of a flower, typically consisting of a pollen-containing anther on a very thin stalk. Sublimate. Direct an instinctive impulse, especially sexual energy, into a more socially acceptable activity. Synecdoche. A figure of speech in which a part is made to represent the whole or vice versa, as in England lost by 6 wickets, meaning the English cricket team. Tablature. A form of musical notation indicating fingering rather than the pitch of notes. Telesales. Chiefly Brit. Therm. A unit of heat, equivalent to 100,000 BTU or 1.055 by 10 degrees joules.